Listen to me. You are not welcome here after what you pulled. Stay away from my family.
I understand your anger, sir, but I am not leaving until we talk.
The moment my father-in-law spat on my shoes, the entire ballroom went silent. You know that kind of silence, the one so thick you can almost hear people holding their breath? Champagne glasses froze mid-air, someone dropped a fork, even the violinist stopped playing. I looked down slowly. A thin trail of spit slid off the polished leather of my heel and onto the marble floor of the Whitmore estate, a mansion so massive it had its own zip code. Then Richard Whitmore, billionaire developer, newspaper darling, and the man who had never lost a business war, leaned closer to me and growled loudly enough for 200 guests to hear. "Daniel, divorce this trash immediately." A ripple of shocked murmurs spread across the room. Trash. Gold digger. No future. He didn't whisper those words, he announced them like a verdict. I could feel every eye on me, socialites in diamonds, board members, politicians, even Daniel's ex who had shown up uninvited just to watch the spectacle. My husband stood there, frozen, not defending me, not denying it, just staring at the floor like a frightened child instead of a 34-year-old man. Richard straightened his cufflinks and continued, his voice dripping with disgust. "She trapped you. Women like her always do. No pedigree, no money, no family worth mentioning. She saw your last name and sank her claws in." Still, I said nothing, because silence is powerful when you know something they don't. Let me rewind a little. 6 months earlier, I had been a financial risk analyst at one of the toughest firms in Chicago. Numbers were my language. Patterns were my instinct. I didn't marry Daniel for money. Ironically, I married him despite his money. He was kind when no one was watching, gentle in a family that treated empathy like a disease. But Richard never believed in me. From the day we met, he treated me like a stain on his bloodline. He hired private investigators, pulled my credit history, interviewed my college professors, even had someone photograph my tiny childhood home in Ohio. When they found nothing scandalous, he decided my biggest crime was being ordinary. Tonight was supposed to be Daniel's promotion celebration, his official appointment as COO of Whitmore Holdings. Instead, it became my public execution. Richard stepped closer again, lowering his voice just enough to sound more threatening. "Take the settlement quietly," he said. "I'll even be generous if you don't fight the divorce." That's when I finally spoke. Not loudly, not angrily, just calm enough to unsettle him. "I don't want your money." He scoffed. "Everyone wants my money." I met his gaze. "You'll understand tomorrow." For the first time that night, he blinked. I picked up my clutch, walked past the stunned crowd, and left without looking back. Daniel didn't follow me. He didn't call. He didn't even text. Good, because what was coming next required distance. That night, I slept better than I had in months, and the next morning, Richard Whitmore's hands started trembling uncontrollably. By noon, 3 federal vehicles were parked outside Whitmore Holdings. By sunset, his empire began to collapse. But before I tell you how a man that powerful fell in less than 24 hours, welcome to Voice Revenge Story. If you love seeing justice served cold, hit that subscribe button, because what Richard didn't know was that the gold digger he humiliated was the only person who had seen the disaster coming, and the only one he should have feared. At exactly 7:12 a.m., my phone rang. Unknown number. I already knew who it was. "Miss Carter," said a calm voice, "this is Special Agent Laura Mendez with the Financial Crimes Division. We executed the warrants this morning." I poured my coffee and watched the Chicago skyline glow orange with sunrise. "Did you find it?" I asked. A pause. Then, "More than we expected." Let me explain something. For the past 11 months, I hadn't just been Richard Whitmore's daughter-in-law. I had been the forensic analyst quietly building a case that federal investigators couldn't crack. See, Richard wasn't brilliant, he was arrogant, and arrogant men always leave patterns. It started accidentally. One night, Daniel left his laptop open beside me. A quarterly ledger flashed across the screen. Numbers slightly off. Most people wouldn't notice, but I did. Tiny transfers, shell vendors, projects that existed only on paper. At first, I told Daniel. He shut the laptop. Don't go digging into my father's business. Red flag number 1. So I dug anyway. What I uncovered wasn't just fraud. It was a decades-long laundering operation hidden inside real estate developments across 4 states. Millions rerouted, taxes buried, partners silenced with payouts. I brought my findings to Richard privately once, gave him a chance to correct it. He smiled, then had security escort me out. The next day, he told Daniel I was mentally unstable, so I stopped warning him and started documenting everything. Encrypted files, transaction maps, dummy corporations linked back to Whitmore Holdings. When the evidence became undeniable, I contacted the authorities anonymously. For months, I sat at Richard's dinner table while helping build the case that would destroy him. Did I enjoy the deception? No, but I enjoyed being underestimated. Back in the present, the news channels exploded before noon. Breaking, federal investigation targets Whitmore Holdings. Stock prices plunged 38% in 2 hours. Board members resigned. Phones across the financial district rang like alarms. Then Daniel finally called. "What did you do?" he demanded. Interesting choice of words. I told the truth. "You're destroying my family." I let the silence stretch. "No, Daniel, your father destroyed it. I just turned on the lights." Then came the part I didn't expect. His voice cracked. "Were you ever going to tell me?" he asked. "I tried," I said softly. "You chose not to see." By evening, Richard appeared on television, no longer the invincible titan. His hands trembled visibly as reporters shouted questions about fraud, racketeering, and obstruction. For the first time in his life, he looked small. But the real twist? I wasn't finished, because Richard had taken something from me long before that party, and now I was going to take it back. Welcome to Voice Revenge Story. If you love seeing justice served cold, hit that subscribe button, because what Richard didn't know was that the gold digger he humiliated was the only person who had seen the disaster coming, and the only one he should have feared.
3 days after the raid, Daniel showed up at my apartment, not the penthouse Richard bought us. My place, the one I had kept just in case. He looked exhausted, tie crooked, eyes hollow. "Dad was arrested this morning," he said. I nodded. "I know." "He keeps saying your name." That must be new. He never liked saying it before. Daniel stepped inside slowly, as if the space itself intimidated him. "I chose you," he said suddenly. "Remember that." I held his gaze. "No, Daniel, you married me. Choosing me would have meant standing beside me." The truth hit him harder than any accusation. Then I handed him an envelope. Inside were divorce papers. His hands shook as he read. "You're leaving me?" "I'm leaving the version of myself that tolerated disrespect." He sank into the chair. "I can change." Maybe he could, but growth shouldn't require destruction first. "There's something else," I added. I slid another document across the table. Ownership transfer. Daniel frowned. "What is this?" 17% of Whitmore Holdings. His eyes widened. "You own part of the company?" "I bought shares quietly over the past year. When the stock crashed, I bought more." Understanding dawned slowly. "You're the largest individual shareholder now." "Interim chairwoman, actually. The board voted this morning." "The same board that watched Richard spit on me." Funny how quickly loyalty shifts. "Why are you telling me this?" he whispered. "Because I want you to understand something." I leaned forward. "I never needed your family's money. I was busy building my own power." Tears filled his eyes. "I loved you." "I believe you," I said gently, "but love without courage is just convenience." He left without another word. Weeks later, Whitmore Holdings restructured under new leadership. Transparent practices, ethical contracts, scholarship funds, employee protections. Not revenge fueled by rage, justice guided by purpose. As for Richard, house arrest, asset seizures, a legacy rewritten overnight. And sometimes, late at night, I remember that moment in the ballroom, the spit, the humiliation, the whispers. If I could go back, I wouldn't change a thing. Because the greatest mistake powerful people make is assuming quiet women are weak. They never imagine we're simply waiting, watching, calculating, ready. Welcome to Voice Revenge Story. If you love seeing justice served cold, hit that subscribe button. And remember, never underestimate the person you tried to humiliate. Sometimes, they're the author of your ending.